night. We are doing
Good
a
night.
Saturday Night Live. What in the world?
You need to bring that music down a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
good evening. It's PRT in the group.
yeah. In the group. This is the first time
In
we've
the
gone
group.
live in the
Yes.
group.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
So for our group folk, we've been promising you some exclusive stuff here in the group, and so this is our first stab at that. And so we're going to try to see if we can keep up with doing an after show. Today, things we missed. Because Raj, man, every single show that we do, I always feel like, man, we forgot to say something, ask a question, or maybe we have some stuff we wanted to say, didn't say, and all that kind of stuff. So this is just
And,
going to be
and
a
then
little
our
short
viewers,
segment.
then our viewers like to push and say, "Hey, part two, part two, part two."
Yeah.
So this may be able to catch some of that stuff. But what a show today!
Man.
I know I couldn't be on the whole time, but I even was listening. Once the funeral was over, I pulled it up on my device, and I was truly blessed by what I heard.
Yeah, we saw you in the chat there, man, and it was just
Yes.
good to have you, even though we couldn't have you through the whole show, but to know that you were there, man, it was good. And I know that our audience loved being able to see that you were, even though you could not be there for the whole time, to see that you were still
Right.
a part of that. So
Yes,
we
yes.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Listen,
Yeah.
man. So your takeaways from today, from what you did see or what you were able to catch, what was one of your big takeaways from today?
Wow, today one of the biggest takeaway was the fact that people heard that they could do it. You know, it can be done. It doesn't take rocket science. Doesn't take $1 million. Anyone can get on and to up their gear. I thought it was a wonderful opportunity. We talked the tech talk.
Yeah.
You know,
So people.
my wife said to me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, my wife said to me, I said to her, "What you thought about the show?" She said, "Well, I'm not into that tech talk." But it was good. It was good, but it wasn't into that tech talk.
Yeah. Well, that was really a specific niche market that kind of. We kind of built it and marketed it towards tech teams, media departments. But really, and that's a piece that we missed today, to really speak to ministry departments themselves. So you don't have to have anything to do with technology or media to know that. And although the guys did kind of touch on it today, that there is space for you and a place for you in the virtual space, so that again, you might not be a part of the tech team, but you might be a part of singles ministries, like my singles ministries. My singles ministries before the pandemic, they were doing a book club, and people would come from all over South Florida. People would come from as far away as Tampa to come on Sabbath afternoons to my church and sit in a room with singles from all over the place. Sometimes they'd have, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45, young singles, and they would just do this book club, and it was time for them to hang out. And so now, they haven't been doing anything now, but it's like, well, why couldn't you do the book club in the virtual space? You can. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
There's plenty of virtual book clubs. And although they might not be able to reach out and touch each other, they could still see each other and fellowship and get together. So speaking to them. So that's not a Sabbath worship event. That's not a AY. It's not a prayer meeting, but it's still content that could be tweaked to be able to work in the virtual space. So even if it's not a content that you're providing for the big wide world, maybe it is somewhat exclusive, or maybe it is just a Zoom thing, or whatever. But there's lots of different things that you could do. Somebody put in the chat today, why couldn't we do a cooking class on a Tuesday night? Why couldn't that be something that you put out? And those are the kinds of things. And so but here's the thing, for the technology and the gear, is that health ministry crew, the technology team may not be able to go to their house or go to that kitchen, or a church doesn't have a kitchen to set up to shoot that. So maybe that health ministries team needs to figure out how to rig up their iPhone to be able to shoot what they're doing in their kitchen and record it, so that they can then maybe send it to somebody, have it edited and uploaded.
Right.
So,
no, I mean, so many different applications from leveling up your gear. You know, you open up so many options. If your gear is, if you're able to do certain things, you are definitely, like today, right now, I have just upped my gear. I am actually using my cell phone. I'm actually using my iPhone 12 right now on a gimbal, on a stabilized gimbal. It's a DJI gimbal, and I'm utilizing that to put it on a stand in front of me, and I don't have to touch it. It's there. I can do some crazy things with it, but I'm using the gear. I'm using the gear to up my game.
And dude,
so
I gotta
today
tell you,
was
man,
that kind of thing.
That cell phone, that looks like 10 times better than that other thing, that webcam you use, brother.
Behave yourself. You know my webcam looks good. You know my webcam. Come on, all those out there who are looking, I know the two that's watching right now. That's one thing. But those who are going to be watching, if my picture is not good, put a 2. If it's good, put a 1. In the chat, we're gonna look for that.
It's good now. You got to tell them when.
It's
when
good
is
now.
It good normally, or is it good now?
Normally, when it's normally. I'm enjoying my webcam. I didn't buy a $500 camera. I just bought a $50 webcam, and it looks good because I paid $500 for lights.
I hope we have some true Christians, and those two people are true Christians, and they won't tell some stories to make you feel better. I hope they are converted people.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but listen, one of the
things,
things
might be us. Are you logged in? Are
it
you
might
watching?
be us. No,
I'm
not. But listen. One of the things we saw today was a lot of people was asking about funding.
Yeah.
And you know, you have anything you want to add to their query in terms of what they can do about funding?
Yeah. So that's I think people were wondering. You know, who was it? Humphreys. Humphreys was saying, "Yo, how do I actually get money to help my church to afford leveling up our year?" We didn't get as deep and as far into it. I see somebody, this is what happens when we stream to the group from Restream. You come up as Facebook user, so we don't know who you are actually. So we don't get to see your name. It just says Facebook user.
So when I went,
fam,
because listen, we did not give Restream permission. Because it did ask for it you did. No, in the group. You got to go in the group. It was asking for permission.
I did.
Oh, well.
It won't even stream without giving Facebook permission. But now each individual user has to give Facebook and Restream permission. And there's some link or something to put up for them so that their names will show up when it comes up.
That was Kagia Scott who was saying, hey,
Kagia, hey, preach. Yeah. So, but yeah, back to that money back to that question on the money, man. So there are some resources. I don't know all of them, but I want to commit to our crew of helping to find them and to help direct people to some of those resources. It was great that we had a guy like Rohann with us today. And I think that just the corporate buying power of the North American division can make some inroads. Like we already have some. So the NAD purchasing plan or whatever, we get some, 5% discounts from some companies like Staples and, some other of those stores. I think, though, if maybe we were very intentional, like creating, something with Sony or with Canon or with Nikon or with PTZ or, some of these audio places. So when people are trying to get boards and trying to get mics, that maybe that's one thing that we can do on a macro level, is create some buying relationships so that you can say, I'm a part of the North America division, and so buying this, I'm going to get a little cut there. That's not somebody cutting you a check, but it's helpful. That's a 10% or 5% or whatever. The other thing is, and they talked, and there's not enough I think you can say about what was mentioned today. The guys were saying, look, you do something.
Do something, right.
When you do something, people, your own members, and I can testify to that. I was telling the guys after the show today, when I first got to my church, one of the things that we didn't have was a projector, because the projector was busted and messed up. My tech team, I told them, look, I want you to find a projector, and I said, don't skimp on it. I want you to get the thing that don't suggest to the board what you think they can afford. Suggest what works, what's going to do the job and is going to do the best job. That's what I want you to suggest to them. And so they were looking at $3,000-$4,000 projector initially. When I told them that, they came back and had like a $6,000-$7,000 projector. But it was a good projector.
You freed them.
And so when they came and they presented it to the board said, nah, we ain't paying for it. And so what we did was say, okay, well, we'll pitch it to the church and we'll work on raising the money. And so we planned like a 3 to 4 month campaign to raise this $6,000 something. And so the day that I pitched it, Elder, the day that, and that I think that was also powerful. I did not leave it to the tech team to pitch it. I pitched it as the pastor. I got up in front of the church.
Right.
And I talked, and we do what preachers do about, this is in the Lord's house and et cetera, et cetera. Dude, before the day was over, I had over $6,000 in hand.
That's right. That's right.
We didn't do 3-4 months. It was the day. It was like 3-4 hours, and later we had the money to. So, yes.
Isn't that what Bryant said? Bryant Taylor said that provision follows vision.
That's right.
Yeah. So he gave vision to it.
Yeah, and so that's one of the first steps I think that tech teams have to make sure. I mean, if you can sell your pastor, quite frankly, it doesn't have to be your pastor. It helps for it to be the pastor, but the people who are influential and have good rapport and good relationships, and the people trust them. If you can find them and help them to be your spokespersons and your cheerleaders for the acquisition of those things in the building, a lot of that times there's the money and the resources in the building, and you just don't know it. So that's the first thing, because a lot of times when you're going and asking somebody outside of your organization and outside of your circle to give you stuff, one of the things they want to know is, well, what have you done? What have your own people put in what kind of skin do you have in the game? And so that's going to be important. Like I think about us here at Roundtable. We have not spent a lot of time asking people for money to support this ministry. And now we probably need to spend some time doing this maybe another time when we have more than, how many do we have now? Oh, we got 6 now. 6. There's 6 in the spot. But I think about what we've spent, like out of pocket for this. Kirk showed his gear, his room, his lights, and all that kind of stuff. If I had my other cameras hooked up here, I have like so much of that stuff here too that has came out of pocket. Right. Cameras and monitors and audio boards and the computers and the lights, microphones, all that stuff. I mean, this microphone cost me like $500. Now, granted, this wasn't, I bought this years and years and years ago when I was doing a radio program. But I think about what we spend on eCam. We spend what? Almost $300 a year?
$350 a year.
Yeah, and that's the three of us.
Restream is about
Wait, hold on,
Restream
hold
costs
on.
for
Wait. That's not once. That's 3 times because each of us
True.
have
Each of
our
us. That's
own
correct. Ecamm.
eCam. So we're spending already almost $1,000 a year just for the software, and that's out of pocket. Then it comes to Restream. Whatever we're spending, what, 300 for some dollars on the Restream account.
490.
Right, that's right. Yeah. And then when we have all this little music and stuff playing in the background, that ain't free. We're spending another 300 something dollars a year for a subscription
Right.
to just one service. These motion backgrounds that we have going on, we're spending that. I'm spending another $19 a month on Envato. So what is that? That's $20 a month for the year. What is that?
This is about
Yeah.
$240.
You have the other thing that we use, the other music thing. What is it?
Epidemic Sound.
Epidemic Sound. I don't know how much you're spending on that.
$15 a month.
Yeah. So I mean,
So
when you look at it, just the annual, we need to sit down and do those figures and crunch those numbers. But what we're putting into this, very similar to what some churches may have to put into, their gear and what they're doing in order to do stuff well. And so,
Right.
yeah. So it costs.
Yeah, this past Christmas I gave myself a gift, which was a ATEM Extreme ISO, switcher, which comes in at about $1,200, but it was a gift to me because I wanted to up my gear.
Yeah.
So there are some decisions you make. The other day, my colleague who's right next to me here, encouraged me to buy a new light, which I did. I bought a brand new 250 watt light for my home studio. It did reduce the number of lights that I had in front, but I bought an upscale lighting system for the house. So you are going to put energy and dollars into upping your game and your gear to help you look good. I have to work on my on the road stuff. As you can see, I don't have great lighting. I had to take the don't say it too loud. Marriott may not like me for this. If I took the shade off their light so I can get better lighting on my face.
Yeah.
And I don't have. I put on my AirPods so I could hear and I could have the audio there. So there are things you do. There are times when I would travel with a mic, audio interface, lighting. I didn't do all that this time. But what we're saying actually is you're going to have to put some dollars into your gear to help raise the impact that you have.
Right. Man, I remember I did a week of prayer in a hotel. The whole week I was in a hotel, did the whole week of prayer. And like that lamp you see on the floor behind you, I took the hotel torchier lamp, and I was holding it, this big old long lamp, I was holding it in my lap just out of frame, just so I would have good lighting because I didn't travel with my lights.
Kagia says travel kit. That is true. Yeah, you got to have a travel kit now. So guys, we just wanted to jump on to kind of let you know we're still high off of this, this today's show. Dion has said to us, Dr. Henry, he said he's not coming on. You know why? Because he said he got to up his game before he gets back on. So I don't know what's going to happen between now and next week. I don't know what's going to happen between now and next week. But he said he's going to up his game. So when he comes back on, he's going to have lights. He's going to have, I think he has a good camera. I'm not sure what else he's going to buy, but he says he's going to get himself some lights.
So hopefully this series, because he doesn't feel comfortable, with the quality he's getting out of it yet. And I think that's really because he doesn't know how to use it yet. And so, we need to spend some time with him on that. But yeah, I think it's series like what we're doing now and like the tech conference that we're talking about doing in March. Those are going to be things I hope that are going to be helpful because there's probably a lot of folk out there like that. They went and purchased some gear. and they're just not using it to its optimum, capacity, that something like this may
Right.
help. Listen, one of the things that we missed today, so that was the title of this thing people are reading today, what we missed. One of the things that we missed today talking about was we didn't do a whole lot of, we said we were talking about gear. We didn't do a lot of talking about personnel. Maybe we'll get into some of that this coming week in part 2. But there is one easy peasy personnel part that we just didn't, every church needs to know. And you need to have, trust me, you need to have, and it's cheap, it's easy, but you need to have and train a share team. Because there is an evangelistic tool that it's just this. It's the share button.
That's right.
That's it. So you can have, and I heard Kirk and them talking about this last night on the cafe, but you may have 25 people watching your stream. If 25 people are watching your stream, that's great. But if none of them share it, that could be for two things. That could be one, which is probably the worst of the two scenarios, is that one, they didn't see any value in sharing what you were putting out. Like your content wasn't shareable to them. But here's the reality is that when you put good stuff out, everybody wants to share good stuff, right? I mean, good cooking, good food, good music, whatever you want to share it. So one is that maybe that suggests that maybe you need to kind of up the quality of the content. And I'm not talking about production quality. I'm saying, are you scratching where somebody's itching? That, all the stuff they were talking about today.
Correct.
But the other thing is there may be people who watch and see, man, that was awesome. That was great. But we got a lot of seniors, a lot of people watching that have no clue about the share button. And so you have to ask them to share. You have to train them to share. And I mean, this is like in the old days, you have to get out, put on your flats, ladies, and go and knock on doors and hand out, a flyer or the hour with your Bible track. Now, and you have to, in Florida, if you're in Florida, you go out in the heat and all this. Now, boom, share button. Just
share.
Facebook,
That's right.
Share. It's done. And that can go a long way in attracting more people to come and to be in the space. And everybody who's watching, your entire audience, particularly on the Facebook platform, can share. And so those are some things that I think we've got to be intentional, and tech teams have to be intentional about. Well, pastors and worship leaders, people who are up front behind microphones, they have to be intentional about asking people to do it. And then I think tech teams kind of behind the scene can be the ones who are going and training people how to do it. So that was
But not only pressing the share button, even just asking them to put something in the chat.
Yeah.
Recognizing that those who are behind the screen are there just by saying, hey, if you feel me today, put a 1, put a 2. If you like what I just said, put an amen. That engagement helps with the algorithm.
Right.
Even that engagement, not only the share, but even if for you to respond to what's happening, increases the opportunity for someone to see, to hear, to be engaged in the same message that you're getting or the same experience you're getting there. So just asking people to do something is a major piece.
Yeah, typing is huge. It's huge for that algorithm, that engagement. One of the things that I found with getting people to type, like I knew that early on, but I didn't know how to do it. And so I remember some of the first times I was making appeals. I hadn't planned it out. So I'm preaching, I'm getting down to the appeals, and I know I've got to get people in the online space to type something, to respond. So based on whatever I was preaching, I ended up maybe saying something like, if you feel the tug of the Holy Spirit on your heart today and you want to respond, you want to go down in the watery grave of baptism, then if you would just take your keyboard and type right now for me, I want to go down in the watery grave of baptism. And I'm like, Terrible, terrible, terrible.
That's a lot of typing. That's
Yeah,
a lot of typing.
and that's the thing. You want to get you want people to type, but you don't want to make it, laborsome for them. So now I've gotten to the point where just a number, just type a 1, in the chat, and we've got folk who are going to follow up with you. Just type a 2, so that they don't have to type a whole big long sentence and all that. Just hit a 1. Find that 1 on your keyboard. It's right there next to the 2. It's right there.
That's right. That's right. It's the second key on the keyboard. The second key on the keyboard. On the top row, you know exactly where it is. That is so true. But I think one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that simply engaging the folks who are watching is a simple ask, and people are very, very willing to participate in this, because they're by themselves in the room by themselves, and you asking them to respond is a way of them feeling, well, this person sees me. That's a new terminology now. This person sees me, and they are speaking to my situation. So, share button in responding in the chat are ways in which the engagement you become part of that tech team. That is so true.
Yeah. Well, look, for those of you that have joined us I know we're streaming today to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook page. So this is content that we're going to try to bring you after each show every week. It might be on a Saturday night, it might be on a Sunday, but we're going to do this what we missed today, what we missed. Of course, we might say yesterday what we missed, depending on
we're just going to what you missed, what we missed, what you missed, what we missed. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. So, and we want you guys to help us with this. When we kind of debrief a show, and we do this, we have our meetings every Monday mornings, our production meetings on Monday mornings. We may stream some of those to the group. But if you have suggestions and ideas, things that you'd like to see, things that you might need help with, some you may have things that you want to help us with. That we want you just to be able to put that in the chat and to join us. Hey, there's Kirk. Yeah. No worries, Kirk. See, that's the thing with the restream and the group. So we can see names when they type on YouTube. We just can't see people's names when they type on Facebook. We gotta figure that out. But yeah, so this is our first time actually streaming in the group, and we hope that this has been helpful to you as we just kind of debrief and talk about some of the things that we missed. Kirk, we were just sharing with them earlier about last night and what we talked about with the whole share button piece, and how crucial that can be, and how crucial it can be to get people to type, and that a tech team and a media team can be very instrumental in helping to train the people who are presenting up front, that they need to make that ask. Kirk talked about making that ask today. And those are some things that I think is going to be helpful along the way. I mean, I'm excited about the potential for our ministry teams, our media teams going forward. When I see what guys like Kirk Nugent are doing, what Rohann is doing, what Kagia and Austin are doing, so many others that are doing in this space. I am excited about the future and the potential of what we have in front of us. I see some things that make me scared, but what I see that makes me hopeful just kind of tends to outweigh some of the stuff that I see that's taking us in the other direction, I guess. But so listen, we appreciate you, our audience. We appreciate what you guys bring to the table. So thank you so much for what you guys do in helping to keep pushing us. And we want you to do that. Push us.
So I'm gonna do what we just talked about, the ask. I know there are 10 people looking, or 9 people looking in total right now live. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to our newsletter, you need to go to our website, theprt.live, and subscribe to the newsletter. We are going to be releasing something before the end of the month. on that newsletter. Some of it will be what we're talking about here. Some of it will be some other tidbits on funding, on ideas and how to do how-tos. So you want to make sure that you subscribe to the newsletter. And if for some reason God has moved you, blessed you, and you feel you would like to support Pastors Roundtable, you can Cash App us, or you can what's that other one we have? PayPal. So PayPal and Cash App support, you can definitely share that with us and support the Pastors Roundtable.
I just logged onto the YouTube channel because I was trying to see where our subscriber count. So we have 739 subscribers at this point. I think we were trying to get to the 4 digits to that 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
Did we put a?
So that's another thing, another way you can help us.
Yeah. All right, brother. I saw you yawning a few minutes ago and trying to hide it, but you're on live TV, brother. So we caught you.
Listen, it's been a long day, and I have a long trip to head back home in all this snow and weather. But we praise God for being able to support a colleague again, Pastors Roundtable. We don't just talk ministry; we do ministry, and so each of us, from time to time, are in. We're in different places. So this afternoon, you saw that I was on site there. We were at the West Broad Street Seventh-day Adventist Church. I was able to use my phone to come on and to at least greet our viewers. And I had to jump off. We brought in a guest host, Bryant Taylor, an awesome tech guru. And it also brought the show to another level. So we praise God for that. Like I said, we'll be heading out on tomorrow. Pray for me as I travel. I pray that we can gather again next week and share about part 2 of leveling up our impact through our gear and through our content.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I was just thinking, because I know people are seeing this now, and when I put their comments on the screen, they're realizing that. They're coming up as Facebook user. That's Bishop Oliver.
Yeah, Doc Oliver, man. I just talked about you the other day, Doc Oliver. I was sharing with my wife the impact of the community that we have here at PRT and the online community, and you have been in so many other spaces that we do attend. So it's good to have you up. Sorry to keep you up this late, because I know everyone is not in the central time zone.
He's not sorry to keep you up this late. He's sorry to keep himself up this late. That's what he's really trying to say.
That's probably true.
Hey, look, hey Bishop, I'm look for a message from me, man. I've been thinking about something, so I gotta bounce this off of you, and a couple of the others there. So keep your ear to the ground. So I'm gonna hit you up this week, man. And we're continuing to pray for you and for your ministry and your wife and all the things you do. You are an inspiration to us when we sit back and watch what you do in this space and on this platform. So Blessings to you, my brother. All right, bro. We good?
We're good. I'm good. So listen, we're here in the group, but we're going to be Oh, there it is. My flight just got canceled.
Oh, snap.
My morning flight just got canceled. Lord have mercy. Well,
and you're in Savannah?
I'm in Savannah, so we're going to have to work on where I'm going to go.
Man, you are right up the road from my house in Georgia. I'm about an hour and change.
Yeah, I know.
Savannah. Yeah,
I know that. I if you were up this way, we could have hung out.
Yeah. All right. We haven't figured out how to end this one, so we're just saying.
Oh. Hey, I know how to end it. Listen, we are in the group. We're thankful for the group. Share, like, you know what to do. But thank you for being part of the PRT family, where we strive to make ministry relevant.
Oh, we're doing it. Resourced.
And real.
All right. Good night, everybody.